In this quick tip, I'll show you how you can calculate durations of samples based on the tempo of your MPC's sequencer. And with those measures, you can quantize your samples and loops so that they cycle in time with your BPM, like this. If you find the clip useful, hit like, subscribe, and if you're on Instagram, drop by for a look at TONELAB. For best viewing, I recommend watching this on a laptop or larger display like a TV, and put the clip into full screen mode and set the resolution to 1080p via the settings widget down on the bottom right. By default, the MPC uses a sampling rate of 44.1 kHz, but for those using controller mode, your sample rate may be set to your DAW setting, which is still fine. You just have to choose a different calculator via the TONELAB website. If you're unsure what sampling rate your MPC is using, you can confirm that by sampling Sweet Nothing for exactly 1 second and check the amount of samples it took to record 1 second. In this case, mine's recording at 44.1K per second. What I need to do now is choose the 44.1K BPM to sample calculator from the footer of the tonelab.tv webpage. And now we can find the exact measure of samples needed. It's good to start with a sample in mind that you'd like to carve up into smaller sections. I've got a sample already in my MPC, so I'll just chop this into a couple of pieces to demonstrate how it works. First, I recommend disabling link slice, so you can adjust the endpoints of your sample without affecting the neighbouring section's start point or end points. Disable snap to 0 if it's on, and disable the loop lock. Loop lock will bound your loop points to your sample start and end markers, so leave it off, and that way you can have samples loop to half or quarter the amount of the actual section they're in. Okay, so now if we browse to tonelab.tv, now I'll punch in my sequencer's tempo as BPM. I'll choose 0 for the tuning, which is what my MPC sample is currently set to. But you could enter in any semitone between an octave higher or lower if the pitch you're using isn't the root note or nominal pitch. Click Calculate, and now we're presented with various measures of time, but displayed as samples. And these are not unlike durations of Quantize that your sequencer applies to your MIDI notes to restrict their movement from sounding out of time. And so, by using any of these measures, you can have your sample length and loop point cycle around imperfect measures of time that can sync up to your tempo. And given the right context, can be a lot of fun for finger drumming or sketching out parts for your song. There's quite a few different applications that could make use of this, so don't feel like it's only good for drum and bass. You could layer a bunch of ambient or industrial textures in time to your sequence too. So experiment with it, because who knows what you might come up with. Next, I'll just cut up a few different examples here across these pads and make a few variations of each. And so I'll make the first sample the half note value. And if we visit the Global tab, make sure your sample play mode is set to note on. And this allows you to then use the loop feature on your samples. And I'll make the third sample the quarter note value. And make sure I've got the loop on. Okay, so let's try that with the tempo. And that's how you can use the calculator to find yourself various measures of time based in samples. If you found the clip useful, hit like, subscribe, and check out the channels for more quick tips just like this one. And don't forget the parent channel over at youtube.com/TONELAB. If you're on Instagram, come and take a look at TONELAB. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.